So the last 7 days have been absolutely horrific for Donald Trump, which is terrific for the United States. But apparently on, I think it was like Wednesday evening, technically early Thursday morning, it apparently got to him. So between the hour of 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., right? That 1 to 2 a.m. hour, a.m., so middle of the night, Donald Trump got on Truth Social, posted multiple unintelligible rants about everything under the sun in the span of 1 hour, right? There was no way to follow his thought process at all because each post was just so disjointed and about a completely separate topic from the one he just posted about. The man was clearly up all night just stewing in his anger. So I'm going to read you these posts as best I can because they're very difficult to get through. But the first one, this is the one that happened right around 1 a.m. Eastern, was this. How disgraceful is it that Judge, in quotation marks, James Boasberg has just been given a fourth Trump case, something which is statistically impossible. There is no way for a Republican, especially a Trump Republican, to win before him. He is highly conflicted not only in his hatred of me, massive Trump derangement syndrome, but also because of disqualifying family conflicts. Boasberg, who is the chief judge of the D.C. District Court, seems to be grabbing the Trump cases all to himself, even though it is not supposed to happen that way. Is there still such a thing as the wheel, where the judges are chosen fairly and at random? The good news is that it probably doesn't matter, because it is virtually impossible for me to get an honest ruling in D.C. Our nation's courts are broken, and with New York and D.C. being the most preeminent of all in their corruption and radicalism, there must be an immediate investigation of this rigged system before it is too late. Now, all of that is a lie. Boasberg does not have conflicts of interest, and you can tell that because Trump didn't even try to make them up. Like, if he had conflicts of interest, you would have said it. If you were clever enough to even create them, you would have created them like you did with, Judge Juan Merchan. But you couldn't even do that, right? Your brain is just crap. You were crapped out, couldn't do it. And yes, it was randomly assigned because they do still have that. But Trump wants Republicans to eliminate these district court judges, which with the House of Representatives, they technically do have the authority to do it. And that's what this is. 20 minutes later, he gets back on Truth Social and says this. NPR and PBS, two horrible and completely biased platforms, networks, should be defunded by Congress immediately. Republicans, don't miss this opportunity to get rid, or to rid our country of this giant scam, both being arms of the radical left Democrat Party. Just say no and make America great again. So, God, I'm pissed off at this judge. Man, you know what? Screw NPR and PBS. And then 10 minutes later, Liberation Day in America is coming soon. For years, we have been ripped off by virtually every country in the world, both friend and foe. But those days are over. America first. Liberation Day is what he's calling this coming Tuesday, April Fool's Day, because that's the day the 25% tariffs on basically everybody are supposed to go into effect now. And it's fitting that that would happen on April Fool's Day. 10 minutes later, he says, if the European Union works with Canada in order to do economic harm to the USA, large-scale tariffs far larger than currently planned will be placed on them both in order to protect the best friend that each of those two countries has ever had. Okay, so you're saying if the European Union, which is not a country, it's a collection of countries, just so you know, Donald, and Canada get together to harm the U.S., then we're going to do even more harm to them because we're actually their best friend. If we're their best friend, we're not going to do harm to them, bud. Like, that doesn't even make sense. None of what you said makes sense. And that's the point, folks. These are not rants, As I have been saying for years, these are symptoms. This man's mentally ill. And I don't know if it's just psychological. I do believe there is a physiological thing with it, neurological. I think there is actually something legitimately functionally wrong with his brain. And I say that because a lot of the mental health experts have told us they believe something is wrong with his brain. So this is not just my unprofessional opinion. It is their professional opinion. He has exhibited symptoms of Alzheimer's. He has exhibited symptoms of dementia. You know, the sudden angry outbursts, by the way, are also symptoms of those things. These are symptoms, not rants. It's not a meltdown. It's an episode. That's how we need to view these, and that is how the media needs to start framing them. They would have done the same with Joe Biden. We know that because they did. It's time to do it to this guy because he has more skeletons kicking around in his brain than Joe Biden could have ever dreamed of. But the media is giving Donald Trump's very weak mental state a free pass, and that is not okay because there is something dangerously wrong with that man. And right now, United States citizens, hell, the global citizen population, everybody is paying the price for that man's mental illness. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.